Emergency gun meme review. What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers? And my God, what a bad day to be the Liberty Safe social media guy. I mean, seriously, not just a bad day. I mean, a bad week, a bad month. It's bad. For those of you out of the loop, allow me to give you a little bit of context. Now, as the average consumer looking for a safe, I think it's perfectly reasonable that you, as the average consumer, spending $2 to $3 grand on a safe, you want to be sure that nobody that you don't trust has any access to that safe and the contents therein. That's the whole point of having a safe. You know who I trust less than anyone on the planet? That's right, the federal government. But that's exactly who Liberty Safe just handed the keys over to. You see, last week somebody was raided by the FBI. They had a warrant to search his house and his gun safe. But the FBI, in their infinite wisdom, could not get into said gun safe. Big win, right? So the FBI called the manufacturer, Liberty Safe. So now a multiple choice question. What do you think Liberty Safe did? A, told them to go fuck off. B, said come back with a subpoena. Or C, let me just skip to the chase, they fucking gave it to them. That's right, the Fed boys asked pretty please, and Liberty Safe just gave them over the master code. Liberty Safe, protecting your guns from everyone except the government. Now, admittedly, we haven't gotten to a very crucial component of this story. Why was there a warrant on this man in the first place? Why are we jumping on Liberty Safe's back if, they could have been helping potentially catch a murderer or a serial rapist? Or even worse, a cyclist. But I digress. My point is, we don't even know why the FBI is after this guy in the first place. I mean, there's gotta be a reason they sent 8 unmarked fucking SUVs to this guy's house to go raid his shit, right? Turns out his crime was he was there at January 6th. Fucking what? And when I say being there on January 6th, I don't mean that he was there assaulting people or damaging property. It's literally just because he was there. Regardless of your thoughts on January 6th, you gotta admit, that's pretty egregious. But normally this would have been the end of it. The feds would get away with sketchy shit and the average consumer would be none the wiser. But this time it wasn't, because a tweet was made. And then the memes began. Liberty, thinking they could give the feds the code to a customer's safe and no one would find out. The entire gun community calling them bootlickers. Keep the word Liberty out your fucking name. Liberty Safe. Tyranny, residential security container. It got bad pretty quick. I woke up and saw all of that this morning at time of recording. And I just saw all the pieces come together and thought, you know what? This is gonna get a lot worse. But not to worry, because Liberty Safe had an idea. Let's make a public statement. On August 30th, Liberty Safe was contacted by the FBI requesting the access code to the safe of an individual for whom they had a warrant to search their property. Our company protocol is to provide access codes to law enforcement if a warrant grants them access to a property. After receiving the request, we received proof of the valid warrant, and only then do we provide them with the access code. Liberty Safe is devoted to protecting the personal property and Second Amendment rights of our customers and repeatedly denied requests for access code without a warrant in the past. We do not give out our combinations without proper legal documentation being provided by the authorities. First and foremost, Liberty Safe is committed to preserving our customers' rights and we will remain unwavering in those values. Fucking press X to doubt. As you may have predicted, this made things much, much worse. We're just complying with law enforcement. Liberty Safe getting ready to make a statement about the FBI situation. Opens a drawer of excuses. Now, if you think that Liberty Safe's statement sounds pretty reasonable, then, well, first of all, congratulations on at least trying to preserve a shred of nuance. But let me just remind you of something. Yes, it is true that the FBI did have a warrant. But you see, that warrant is only between the FBI and the individual who owns the home. That warrant has nothing to do with Liberty Safe. Liberty Safe wasn't even subpoenaed. They got a phone call. No subpoena means there was zero legal necessity for them to hand over the codes to that safe. They just did it. If they received a full-on subpoena from the FBI requiring them to hand over the codes by law, I would be a bit more understanding of Liberty Safes. But that's not what happened. What happened was them fully rolling over and complying with the feds against a customer when there was zero legal requirement for them to do so. TLDR, Liberty Safes snitched. Bro, they cut the burger in half and got him extra sauce. This homie's telling them every crime he's ever seen someone commit in his life. It's a pretty damn good meme. Now, if you already think this is bad, don't worry. The implications get a lot worse. But before we even get into that, I'm sure you guys already realize why this is such a big deal. A safe should be the pinnacle of your security in your home. I mean, it's where you keep your guns. Obviously, it's a gun safe, but it's more than that. It's place where you keep, precious documents, birth certificates, social security card, photos that are irreplaceable. If you're smart, it's also where you keep your precious metals, your gold and silver. Like, for example, this silver coin I got from our sponsor, American Hartford Gold. You like that flawless integration there? But they are, in fact, the largest retailer of gold and silver in the United States. In fact, they delivered about $2 billion worth of gold and silver. See, precious metals like silver have always been worth something. The only thing that makes US dollars worth anything are the trust that we have in the federal government. Oh boy. So in today's economy, I would not blame you for wanting to divest a little bit and get involved in precious metals like, gold and silver. Precious metals aside from the obvious. But American Hartford Gold has thousands of 5-star reviews, and plus, if you tell them I sent you, they can get you up to $5,000 in free silver on your first order. So you can check them out using the links in the description, or you can text Brandon to 65532. So we appreciate American Hartford Gold for sponsoring the channel. Now back to talking about the Fed boys and Liberty safes. So an interesting consequence of this that you may not have considered, the factory code they gave the FBI probably works on all their safes, right? Well, that's an interesting thought. Did they just hand over the master code to the FBI of every safe that they have? Well, the quartering did some talking to them, and according to Twitter, he says, "I have confirmed with Liberty Safe that all safes have a master code. You changing it will not matter." Well, that wasn't very cash money of them. So, of course, as the news keeps spreading and we find out more and more about the situation, the entire 2A community has been getting progressively more upset. The entire 2A community looking at Liberty safes like, it's been a very stressful time to be their social media team, to say the least. And the statements they make on social media just keep making this worse. I mean, seriously, the folks over at Liberty Safe just made the marketing director of Bud Light look like a fucking genius. The only way Liberty Safe can clear their name and regain their customers' confidence and trust. Yeah, this is not the first Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light reference that's been made. In fact, that seems to be where this is headed. Saying that Liberty Safe's pulled a Bud Light seems to be putting it mildly. Liberty Safe at SHOT Show after everyone and their cousin found out they snitched to the feds. So if this doesn't go away immediately, which I have a sneaking suspicion that it won't, I would not want to be a Liberty Safe employee at SHOT Show either. You might get fucked with just about as much as we fuck with the ATF booth every year. Hot 20 long gun safes want their backdoor codes used in your area. Speaking of backdoor codes, 2 things that have backdoor access codes. If you're not caught up on that either, apparently Tucker Carlson just had on his show a couple days ago some guy who claims to have smoked crack and had gay sex with Obama, which... What? I don't even know what to say about this timeline anymore. But is it true? Let's be honest, probably not. But it's not going to stop the memes, and as long as they're funny, that's what we're here for. Liberty Safe owners sitting in their gun rooms in handcuffs, watching the letter folks open their Wait, I think he meant safe. Watching the letter folks open their safe after a quick phone call to Liberty. No, Carl. Who would have fucking thought a left-leaning, California, Silicon Valley-based company would be better at telling the feds to fuck off about their users' personal information better than a company with liberty in the name? I'm talking, of course, about Apple, and I mean, let's be honest, the comparison there is pretty obvious.
Just give me the code, okay?
Like Da Vinci Code, like Code Red, like the Contra Code, like up, down, select, AB, AB, left, right. That one?
Okay, yo, dude, come on, stop messing with me. Just give me the fucking code, okay?
The password is vagina.
Let us in, we got a warrant. Tee, okay, I love Fed boys. Damn, this bitch is way easier than Apple. Yeah, they hit him with the couch meme. The FBI doesn't have to get into your Liberty Safe or hack your fucking iPhone to know that if you want to get your start in gunsmithing and weapons technology, you can go over to SDI.edu or just check out the link in the description and in the pinned comment. They're the main sponsor of the channel, so we gotta shout them out. We appreciate their support. They help us keep the lights on. Liberty Safe, when everyone finds out they throat that boot so deep they could floss their butthole with the laces. Okay.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
And you know what? Maybe that's a good thing. There's devil's advocate. There's a perfectly reasonable chance that this is just a bad policy that was overlooked by the owners of the company, that, maybe this doesn't embody their actual ideals. This whole thing could be a huge mistake by middle management people, and they're people that should probably lose their job over this. Or perhaps this lines up perfectly with Liberty Safe's values, that they would rather get good boy points for their chicken nuggies in the eyes of the FBI than actually protect their customers. I don't personally know which one of those two things is true. But regardless of which of those two things is true, I do think it is a good thing that people are speaking out against this right now, and that there's an example being made as to what is unacceptable behavior, like where the parameters are and what the gun industry will absolutely dig in their heels on and say, no, fuck you. I can't think of a single more American thing than finding somebody who's getting a little too cushy with turning over their rights to the government and saying, no, knock that shit the fuck off. Aside from all that though, I do know one thing for sure. Liberty Safes is gonna have a hell of a time getting people to stop asking them, why'd you give them the code? A fair question. Liberty Safe. Why did you give them the code? If you'd like to weigh in, I'm more than happy to give you a voice down in the comments section. And as for you, the audience in general, do you guys think that we're going too hard on Liberty Safes here, or do you think that we're not going hard enough, that this is exactly what they need? Let me know down in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts. This is a pretty new thing, so the lines are still kind of getting settled. And for that, we have this episode of Emergency Gun Meme Review. I'm actually taking one of the first trips of my campaign up to DC, the heart of the swamp itself, in a couple of days. I've got some meetings I need to take and possibly even linking up with Tim Pool for a podcast. So if you guys want to see more about that, you can check out the B channel, which should be in the links in the description. It's been an awesome journey so far, guys, and I appreciate your support. That's all I've got for you this episode. I appreciate you watching to the end. And as always, I'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon, like Rasputin's rise to the top. Backlash, you can stop, can stop, can stop, can stop, can stop, can stop, can stop,
Liberty Safe owners sitting in their gun rooms in handcuffs watching the letter folks open their